Alright folks, today we're discussing the importance of growth mindset with our guest, Rifaz Mario. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Growth mindset? Growth mindset. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Show. Today we're going to be discussing the importance of a growth mindset with our guest, how do you pronounce your name again? My name's Rifaz. Rifaz. Okay, Rifaz. Okay, got it. So Rifaz, tell me a little bit about yourself. What major are you in? And what's your favorite color? Yeah, I can tell you a bit about myself. I love math and physics. In fact, I'm a senior in the math major. My favorite color is, well, all the colors, including blue. That's a bit about myself. Right now, some of the classes I'm taking include multivariable calculus, linear algebra, math analysis, statistics, journalism, macroeconomics. I think that about covers it all. But yeah, those are just some of the classes I'm taking at Tech. Alright, now, tell me a little bit about what is growth mindset and why is it important to you? If it is at all. Yeah, sure, I can tell you a bit about what I think about growth mindset. So for me, growth mindset is really critical, right? Because I think it's the kind of mentality you need to get from point A to point B. Especially in hard times like this pandemic, a growth mindset is critical. When you're learning by yourself, when you're learning remotely, you need to know that even if you can't understand something now, try it again a week later, a month later, a few months later. I know that was the case when I was learning electromagnetism and writing my research paper. I had 6 years ago when I was talking with Dr. Kabat, I had no idea that the equations I memorized were Maxwell's equations. And last summer, 6 years later, I came back to those equations with a new set of eyes, and with all my expertise in math, all my expertise in physics, I finally understood those equations. So the moral of the story is that just because you don't understand something now doesn't mean you can't try it again a day, even a week, a month later, because it always that kind of coming back to the same thing over and over again gives you a new perspective each time. So that's my perspective, that's my take, my 5 cents on the growth mindset. I think it's critical to believe that you can learn anything, whether you're a high schooler, a middle schooler, elementary school, or college student. I think you can learn anything if you just put your mind to it. And even if you can't master it now, the key idea is to keep coming back to it later until you kind of successively build up your knowledge or your understanding of something that you didn't understand very well before. Interesting. Your words make me scratch my head. Now, here's one thing I gotta ask you. You go to Brooklyn Tech, is that right? Yes, I do go to Brooklyn Tech. All right. So, one and only. If you don't mind me asking, how has Brooklyn Tech helped you develop this growth mindset of yours? Yeah, so Brooklyn Tech helped me grow my growth mindset in the sense that I've been exposed, number one, to a lot of people who have different views than my own. So that's kind of forced me to take a different perspective on a wide variety of issues. For example, the SHSAT. So for example, I go to the Survey, which is Brooklyn Tech's newspaper, and there I get to meet a lot of people who have different ideas, different takes on national events, school events, and that kind of gives me a holistic perspective. I used to have a one-dimensional perspective of something. Then I take everyone's little 5 cents, and I get a kind of holistic understanding of a certain idea. So in that sense, I've grown my mindset, but also in the much more literal sense of taking new approaches to ideas in mathematics and physics. So, for example, I'm in multivariable calculus right now, which is an awesome class where you you get to use all the ideas you learned in calculus in a really cool way. For example, one of the things I learned was curvature, and that was a really cool idea that, you know, we all have an intuitive sense of what curvature is. For example, this glass cup, it has some curvature, but over the years, as I gained more mathematical expertise, as I learned what the arc length was, as I learned what concavity was, as I learned what the second derivative and first derivative was, I finally kind of grew my understanding of this simple idea of curvature into this mathematical abstraction of what curvature actually is. It's arc length with respect to curvature, essentially. And so yeah, that's just one example of where I've seen growth mindset happen in real life. I learned about arc length in calculus with Mr. Samuels in 11th grade. Then I learned about curvature with Ms. Berry in multivariable calculus in 12th grade. And you know, to understand a lot of the ideas in calculus that I was exposed to, like summations and series, I learned those from 10th grade with Dr. Bosey in math analysis. So growth mindset also has this idea of everything being interconnected. You learn something in math analysis, that'll help you in calculus. Learn something in calculus, that'll help you in vector calculus, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's some of the ways that Tech has helped me, and you know, I'm very fortunate to have some amazing teachers at Tech. All my teachers are amazing. My statistics teacher, Miss Hogan, she explains things amazingly. My AP macroeconomics. I have English as well, journalism. So I have a little bit of everything. I got a little bit of everything in my curriculum, and that right there is also helps facilitate a growth mindset. If you have an interdisciplinary curriculum, that'll really help you build or see old things in a very fresh and a new perspective. So those are my perspectives, those are my ideas on the growth mindset. It's good to be interdisciplinary. It's good to come back to old ideas with a rejuvenated perspective, and yeah, it's good to meet new people who have different, you know, thoughts on the same issues you've seen for your whole life. So yeah, that's my 5 cents on growth mindset, and thank you for having me on the Daily Show. Alright, Rifat, well, it's been nice talking to you, and you want to say bye to our guests, our audience? Alright folks, we'll check you out in the next episode of the Daily Show.